Iran is vowing to respond after Ukraine carried out a series of attacks on ships in the Caspian Sea. That was over the weekend. Ukraine's President Zelensky says Kyiv hit ships carrying military cargo from Iran. Iran says one of its ships was hit by a Ukrainian drone, killing one crew member and injuring 3 others. The Iranian Foreign Ministry says the deadly attack, quote, according to them, cannot go unanswered. Max Boot is a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, and he joins us now from New York. Good to see you, Max. You know, you argued back in March that the Iran conflict was becoming a Russia-Ukraine proxy war. But I'm wondering, was this move by Ukraine predictable? It's a deliberate escalation, and I'm wondering what you think about the fallout.
I mean, I don't see this as being a quote-unquote escalation. I mean, if anybody's escalating, it's Russia by attacking Ukraine, targeting Ukrainian cities, and also now targeting Ukrainian grain exports. This is an attempt by Ukraine to defend itself, and what they're trying to do is to interrupt the flow of munitions and commerce between Iran and Russia. And since the beginning of this war, Iran has been an important supplier to Russia of drones and missiles. And of course, there's a two-way trade there, which enriches both of these countries and allows them to evade sanctions.
It is an escalation, though, in the sense that they are taking this war to the Caspian Sea now and another route. And the question remains how the Trump administration will receive this. The president said earlier this afternoon that he didn't want to comment on Russia's involvement with Iran. He's been consistent on that, as you've pointed out time and again. Where do you see this going from here? I mean, Zelensky is arriving tomorrow. Do you think it will come up?
I mean, it could come up. If anything, it should help to keep Trump on Zelensky's side. I mean, Trump should be grateful to Zelensky for targeting an Iranian ship because that helps the United States to maintain its blockade on Iran. Obviously, the U.S. Navy is blockading this Iranian ships out of the Strait of Hormuz, but the U.S. Navy is not in the Caspian Sea, and so that's somewhere where the Iranians have a chance to not only hurt Russia, but also to help the United States. I hope Trump appreciates that. What I don't appreciate is the fact that Trump consistently excuses Putin's misconduct. And, you know, he claims that Putin has told him that Russia is not supplying weapons to Iran, that Russia is staying out of the war, whereas in fact, as President Zelensky has said, and as U.S. intelligence has reported, Russia has been providing help to Iran, including targeting help, as has China. Both of those countries are helping Iran to target U.S. forces. And, you know, when Trump was asked about that today, he basically claimed that he had been assured by Putin that was not the case. And even if it was happening, it was no big deal. Well, to me, that's outrageous. How could he be making excuses for another country enabling Iran to attack and kill Americans?
And yet he has been doing that, in fact, since this conflict started. I am wondering again, though, when we see the president and Zelensky together tomorrow, does this give President Zelensky a little bit more leverage? And I quote our Tim Lister here on CNN saying that above all, it's astute timing from the Ukrainians, and the fact that Zelensky will be in Washington. We all know President Trump likes winners.
Yeah, I think this will contribute, hopefully, to a more positive dynamic between Zelensky and Trump, which you've already seen in evidence in their last few meetings at international conferences, where, as you say, Trump likes winners. Ukraine seems to be winning. They're certainly taking the battle to Russia in ways that seem to impress Trump, and this is more evidence of that, as well as evidence that Ukraine is actually helping the United States battle Iran, whereas Russia is helping Iran. So, you know, for somebody who's such a committed Russophile and fan of Putin, like Donald Trump, maybe this will make him rethink some of those long-held positions.
I'm not sure he will rethink that, but perhaps those in Congress might rethink influencing the president on many of those issues. Max Boot for us, always good to get your input here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.